it's changed. It changes how people see me, but I ain't changed. It hasn't changed me.
I was talking to Rob about this morning, and you know, you even before you'd lost your leg, I remember you did that ultra marathon. Did you run 100 miles to raise money for somebody else who'd had a terrible accident or ill?
52 miles. 52 miles.
Did an ultra marathon, didn't you? So
now 2 marathons back to back. So I ran from the village, the pub, to Okehampton Battle Camp across the moor and then back again.
I remember, yeah. Did I come to see you? I don't
know. I ran into the village.
I turned up to the opening of the paper bag, me. I probably came. but so, you've raised lots of money and everything you do is for charity and not everything, obviously, but, when you're doing these big projects like Kilimanjaro and when you...
It is. Everything is... There's got to be a reason behind it.
Got a reason behind it, but... Second time you did it on your own. And although both of those things are amazing, and I'll come on to another question about that in a minute, but the second time when you were on your own, you've got to be a resilient sort of person that can spend 3 months just in your own head and come out of it.
No, I'm not resilient. I am resilient, but that's got nothing to do with it. We can all do it. I see myself very much as quite a needy person. I like being around people. I like sharing experiences with other people.
Yeah.
And I thought I would struggle, and I didn't. I had no problem whatsoever. In none at all. Being alone in itself didn't affect me at all. It obviously there was a period in the middle of the row where I was hit with 30, 40-foot waves for about 5 days, and it was petrifying. I mean, absolutely petrifying. Where I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. It like really to the core. Petrifying. I've been to war 4 times, so I've been in quite a few gun battles and been shot at quite a few times. And
nothing personal.
Yeah, but being scared when you're part of a team and being scared when you're completely on your own is so different. So that is the only effect, being on my own, negative effect it had was fear. Take that, the just being on your own part of it, I had no problems whatsoever, and that really surprised me.
Did you, a lot of, how can I put this? So being on your own and in your own head for that amount of time, do you feel like you did lots of processing, or did you? Was it like tumbleweed in there?
Yeah, you probably hit the nail on the head. I tried to improve myself. I tell you what, I downloaded loads of in our time. Radio 4 podcast where they get all these experts in and talk about something, quantum mechanics and so I'd listened to lots of them. I thought, right, I'm going to learn Spanish, but I accidentally downloaded the expert lessons. So it was just a Spanish bloke talking Spanish with no explanation of what he was saying.
Immersion, full immersion in the language.
I was like that. Oh, right. And I'd listened to a lot of music. You don't really, you're so busy doing things, and you don't really get that much time to sit and contemplate the universe, really. It's quite technical rowing an ocean. You don't just get in and row. You have to kind of know what you're doing. Yes, but it's true. If you're not fixing little things that go wrong, you can't leave them. You can't leave anything and say, "Oh, I'll do that in a minute," or "I'll do that later," or "I'll do that tomorrow." You can't do that. You've got to do things all the time when they need doing. Otherwise, it just builds up and you start going downhill. So
going back to that question about earlier, where I said, when you wanted to be in the Marines, you really wanted to be in the Marines, you did it, and then you found out that actually you were at the bottom of the Marines. When you first pass out, you're just like, wet behind the ears. When you rowed. You did all that training to row the Atlantic. You raised all the funds. You got the boat. You pulled the whole thing together. And I know you're part of the team to do that. And then you did it. Was it the same feeling?
No, completely different. When I hope you get a sense of this in the book. The last 2 weeks, it wasn't like just hit 2 weeks and then went downhill. It was a slow progression towards it, but I hit the wall with 2 weeks to go. And the last 2 weeks were so mentally and physically draining that I became emotionally exhausted. And the last 2 weeks rowing, especially last 3-4 days, I basically rowed the last 3 days with no rest whatsoever. And I had to, otherwise I wouldn't have got in. It was so horrific. Those last 2 weeks, I by a country mile, and I mean by a country mile, the worst 2 weeks of my life. The experience was absolutely horrific, and I would describe it as I was in a pit of absolute despair. And that's not an exaggeration. So when I got in, it wasn't an anticlimax. I was utterly empty, no emotion whatsoever. I wasn't happy. I wasn't relieved. I was tired, but I wasn't anything. And for weeks after, months after, I couldn't think about the row in a positive way because I was so mentally traumatized by those last 2 weeks. I couldn't think about the row in a positive way. And in fact, that's literally the end of the book.